Good morning, traders. This is Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass with your morning look at markets for Monday, January 4th. Before we dive in, I hope that you all had a great holiday season and a happy new year. I hope you were able to spend some quality time with your family and recharge your own batteries to get ready to tackle the new year. I think there's going to be a ton of trading opportunities, good ones that we're going to be able to take advantage of. But instead of looking way ahead, let's kind of find out where we're at and start by going through the daily, the 2-hour, and the 30-minute charts of SPY, QQQ, and IWM, and then run through the FANG names. I also want to thank you guys for your patience over the last couple weeks during my move. I am down here in Florida now. Still not 100% unpacked and tidied up, but certainly well on my way. I've obviously got my office put together, back online. I've got a lot of charting to catch up on. I did very little over the 2-week period as far as the markets and charting goes. So I've got a lot of catching up to do, and I look forward to doing that and then filling you guys in on what I see. So let's get started. SPY Daily. We've been working our way up through this narrowing wedge. We do have some, bearish divergences in place, but those have been in place for a long time. And, as we say, bearish divergences are just a yellow flag. It's not a sell signal. And I think that we can look forward to, at least in this first week of January, I think it's going to be a bullish week. There's going to be a lot of passive income flows as 401k money and all that stuff flows in during the first week. And then we'll, see going forward. But I don't think there's any reason to sell now. I think there's reason to trail stops, just like we always do. But I think there may be a bubble in bubble watching. I hear a lot of stuff about, this is a bubble, that's a bubble, everything bubble. Well, when everybody is saying there's a bubble, it's not really likely that the bubble's going to pop. It's going to be when everybody is all in, gung-ho, it's the new normal kind of thinking. So I think we should still be long and trailing our stops up. So anyways, here on the daily chart, we're in this rising wedge. We've got a pending bull cross right here, a high-level bull cross. And looking at futures this morning, it's about 5:45 as I'm starting the video. ES and QQQ futures are up about 0.6%, and IWM futures are up about 0.9 or 1%. So we're going to have a positive open, I would expect. And if we get this bull cross here and push above this trend line on PPO, that would go a long way to negating this bearish divergence that we have in place, and we would be popping above this wedge and moving up towards the 378, 380 level on a breakout. Looking at the 2-hour, here's the exploded view of that rising wedge. And you can see that we had a perfect tag of the top side of that wedge on Thursday before doing a little pullback. So this morning, if the green open holds, we're going to break above this rising wedge. And then we'll see if this trend line acts as support on any pullbacks that we may see. Going down to the 30-minute chart, You can see this consolidation over the last, whatever it is, 4 sessions into last week, between 371 and 374. We had a look above on Thursday before the pullback. So today, when we open green, we're going to have a breakout of this consolidation area. And remember what we always say, on a breakout of a range, the expected move is the width of the range. So this is a $3 wide range. On a breakout, our target would be 377. So this morning, I think you can be long against 374. Now, if we open up, say, let's just say 375 is where we open. Watch for that gap backfill right out of the gate to come back and backtest that 374 level. And if it does that, that would be a very objective place to take an active long position, pretty much assuming that this trading range will act as support and that 374 area would hold. So be ready for the gap open and then the backfill, and then look to get long at 374 with a stop just below. I think that is the primary game plan for today. And, if we gap and go, that's a tougher trade to make because, you're out in space, of course. The only way to do it is to set a stop just below the open and then see if you can get that push higher. But notice the PPO posture. This is exactly what you want to see on a bullish move. The breakout, then a gentle pullback in momentum, back to the 0 line, followed by a bull cross. So this is set up for a move higher, as long as that stays above the 0 line. Let's look at the Qs. Same type of look. We've got this rising wedge here. We've got price above all the moving averages. They're all stacked bullishly. We do have the bearish divergence in place on the PPO here and on the RSI, but no sell signals at all. So as long as price stays above the lower trend line of this rising wedge, things look bullish. Now let's look at the 2-hour. Same thing, there's the wedge. I think you can stay long the Qs above 312. You can see right here you've got a double layer of support. You've got the trend line and you've got this shelf of support right here at 312. If we were to lose 312, I think you'd be looking at a pullback towards 308 as a first area of support. But I think right now the key is to lean bullish while there are no sell signals and play to the long side. Just like with SPY, we're going to have a green open. See if we get that pullback into 314, and that would be your place to take a long trade on a gap higher open with a pullback into 314. I would be trying to get long there. And you can see this is a $2 consolidation range. So a break and hold above 314, your first target is going to be 316. $2 wide, breakout of 314, measures out to 316. And just like SPY, look at this nice PPO setup with the gentle pullback, reset at the 0 line with a bull cross working, and a breakout of the RSI. That's a bull setup all the way. So see if we can get a pullback into 314. That would be a very objective place to take a long. I really like that trade. See if we get it. IWM, a lot of talk about, how overbought it is. But, this is a prime example of good overbought. It got overbought and it stayed overbought for, the better part of 2 months. Now we've dropped down below a little bit, but it can easily go back to being, quote, overbought. This is not a reason to sell in and of itself, being above this 70 on the RSI. It can be just as much of a green flag as it is a yellow flag, because you can see that when buyers want to buy, they just pin it up there. So be aware of that in your trading. I show first support right here at 192.50. That's your 20 EMA. I think if you got any kind of pullback into 192.50, I think you can buy it there. Now, I looked at the futures and it was up about 1%. So we may be looking at fresh highs today, taking out this prior high just above 200. So that looks really bullish in the pre-market. Here's the 2-hour chart. We're going to have a green open. If you got a pullback into this 197.75 area, I think you can be a buyer there and look for a move higher with this PPO resetting near the zero line and then curling higher. You'll also get the RSI moving above 50. I think that's a bullish setup. Where I would be more concerned is if we lost this 193.50 area, then I think you're going to be coming back into the high 180s for sure on a pullback. But until that happens, I would be leaning bullish. 30-minute chart, you can see it better here. We're going to open higher. Any pullback into this 196.50 area to close the opening gap would be your cue to get long there. And I think you definitely want to be leaning bullish on the indexes. Facebook had a bold move a few days ago. Came right up to this 280 level where it got rejected, back down again, and now challenging this 273.50 level that we've had on the board forever. And you can see that the levels that we've identified here continue to work. We had, a rejection at 280, came right down, bounced into 273.50, was rejected, came down to support at 265.66, where it had held multiple times before, held here, mini bounce, came back, held again, and then bounced higher, back up to 280, and rejected again, and now back at 273. So it's a very simple setup here. Anything above 273.50 is bullish. Looking for a move back to 280. And there, it has to take out, if it were to take out 280, that would be another point to either buy or add to your position, looking for a move back up towards 284. And if you had gotten long down here, that would be a place to move up your stops for sure at 280. Anything below 273.50, it's going to be on the wrong side of the box, and you'll be looking for a move back down into 265. So right here, price is at the midpoint of the trading range. Above is bullish, below is bearish. Apple, nice strong advance from 124 up to 139, has had a pullback, came back in to backfill this gap on Thursday, and has found support in this 132 area. I think you can be long against 132. I think another place where you could get long is on a recapture of 134. So this morning, if we get a gap higher that pulls back in, I think you can get long in here against either 133 or 134 and look for a move back up towards 138, 139. The chart has really been firming up lately and seems to be finding a lot of willing buyers at these levels. Tesla, big rising channel. It's been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. We're here at the highs. I think you've got a layer of support here at 695. I think that's your 60-minute pivot. I would be a buyer at 695 with a stop just below, looking for a move up towards the top of the channel. You can see down here, found resistance at the top of the channel. Here as well. Here we had a touch. So if you were to get long, or if you're long from lower levels, I would be looking to trim up in this 740, 745 area. If we were to get that high, I think you would see a pullback at that level. Microsoft had this rising wedge and just put in a 38% fib pullback into 220. I think if you saw any pullback to 220, I'd definitely be a buyer there. I think getting long this morning will be a little bit more tricky. We'll probably have an opening higher. If you got a pullback after a gap open to Friday's close here at 222.40, 222.50, I would be a buyer there against Friday's close with a stop just below and then look for a push back up to 226. That's the way I would play that. And if it ran into more trouble, I think 220 is going to hold. Here was a reaction level. It broke through here and then held here. I think any pullback into 220 is going to hold. So I would definitely be a buyer there or against the Friday close at 222.50. Amazon. Continues to really respect all these levels that we've had pre-identified for what's been months at this point. Got a push last week up into this prior high area of 33.35 where it was rejected. I did not put the fibs on this, but just eyeballing it, this looks like a 50% half-back long entry, up here, pull back 50% to 32.50, and then poised for a move back higher again. If you got anything close to a 32.50 entry, I think you can be a buyer there with a stop just below, and then look for a move back up towards 32.85 and 33.35. Be careful this morning on, a gap open higher for that flash backfill. So don't get trapped right on the open with a gap fill lower. Then you'll be behind the 8 ball. Give it a few minutes. See if that opening gap fills, and if you got a pullback into like 32.50, 32.55, I think that would be a great place to take a long. Now, if it gaps and goes, I think your buy point would be on a recapture of 32.85 right here, and then you can set your stop just below. Google, very much like the Facebook setup, price right here at the midpoint of this wide trading range between 1720 and 1795. I think anything above, you can be long against 1755 with a stop just below. Anything below 1755, you can be short with a stop just above and look for a move back down here to test the lower part of the trading range. So that's how I would play that one. But I would be favoring the bullish side. I think you're going to get an opening higher, and I think on any pullback, this 1755 is going to hold. Netflix, really nice rising channel here. I've dropped in an approximate midpoint of the channel. We've broken above that and had a pullback into this 535 area. If you got any kind of pullback this morning into that 535 area, I think I would be a buyer there. You're going to have this trend line support as well as lateral technical support right here at 535. I think you can be long there with a stop just below and then target a move up into this 555 area. So, I mean, Netflix looks really good. It's just grinding its way higher. If we got a breakout above this channel, then that would be definitely a place to, move up your stops, especially if you got long from, this level here or on the recapture of 525. That could have been a possible entry point for you last week. Continue to raise your stops, and I would be trimming into 550, 555, especially if you are long from lower levels, just ratcheting up your stops. So, feels good to get back in the chair. I've got a lot of catching up to do. I look forward to sharing with you what I find in the charts. Look forward to getting back in the groove here. Again, thank you for sticking with me and giving me the courtesy of taking a few weeks off to complete my move down to Florida and get back in the saddle. I think there's going to be a ton of good trading ops this year, and I look forward to working with you to capture those opportunities in our trading. So until we talk next time, this has been Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of all my new content. There's no better time to get on board than right now at the beginning of the new year. Also, over in the show notes are links to the blog site where you'll find a lot of interesting and helpful articles. And you'll also get an invite to our trading room, which has a vibrant and growing community of aspiring traders. Really good bunch of girls and guys in there that are working hard, sharing a lot of quality ideas. And I think it's a great place. I think you'd enjoy it. I think you'd benefit from it. And I think you'd appreciate expanding your trading network with the people in that room. That'd be a great way to start your 2021 trading year. So I hope to see you in there soon. So until we talk next time, Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. Talk to you soon.